Are two statements joined by the word or. To be true, at least one statement must be true. The solution set is the union. These are a little bit harder to explain, I'll be honest. As a teacher, I explain it kind of weirdly sometimes, just to maybe hopefully get the point across. But an or is a union, and a union means to join or put everything together, to union it. To include everything, like a family reunion, everybody's included, okay? So, we solve first. Again, the solving is simple solving. It's the putting it together. Subtract your 1. So I get x is less than 3. And on the other one, add 1. And the x is greater than or equal to 4. Gosh, I just draw terrible lines. So I do my helper graphs, which again, I will say are optional. I think they're helpful. I think it would be good and advantageous to do it. Now, that word is important because we only need numbers that work in one of them for it to be true. So if I pick the number 7, 7 works here, but not here, but that's okay. It only has to work in one of them. If I pick 0, 0 works here, but not here, and that's okay. It only has to work in one of them. But if I pick 3.5, that does not work in either of them, okay? So, a union, an or, means to join it together. So, I'm going to ask a question, and I'm going to redundantly answer it exactly like I asked. So listen carefully. If you take all the numbers less than 3 and join them together with all the numbers greater than or equal to 4, what do you get? You get all the numbers less than 3 and all the numbers greater than or equal to 4. You get the same thing I just said. Okay? So like literally, if you could go to the store and buy numbers. Let's just say you could go buy numbers. And I have a box here, and I bought all the numbers less than 3 at the store, and I put them in the box. But I also bought all the numbers 4 and bigger, and I put those in the box. What numbers are in the box? What I just said. It's repetitive. It's redundant. And the helper graphs and the final answer look exactly the same. I'll refer to this as a split graph. Circles that go in the opposite directions. They're splitting up. Even though we're having a reunion. Okay, so everything, every number is included. A split graph. Algebraically, it's very simple. Just go write the word or between the two things you got when you solved. So ors and ands, very different. All right, next question. Similar to this one, got 2 more left here. Solving should not be a challenge for you. Subtract your 1, divide by your 5. And on the other one, add your 3 and divide by 2. X is greater than or equal to 5. So the solving part, no more than 2 steps, really. I think that one had 3 when I brought X over. Did it? 1, 2, it did have 3. No more than that. You're not going to see parentheses or fractions or anything like that. Yes?
Then why do you do the helper graphs on the ors?
You'll see on my last one. You don't have to, that's up to you, but my last one's gonna be different. Okay, so my helper graphs. Less than or equal to 2, greater than or equal to 5. And if I took all those numbers, 2 and smaller, and joined them together with the numbers 5 and bigger, union them together, put them in the box, go buy them and put them together, I get exactly what I just said. 2 and smaller, 5 and bigger. Brady, I'm going to add something to my answer to your question. There are also other scenarios that we're not doing. So the helper graphs are helpful in those scenarios. We're not going to do those. I'm going to keep trying to keep it a little more simple. And then algebraically, all I got to do is write that word or. So I'm going to make a note here. All split graphs have the word or in the answer. So all split graphs have the word or in the answer. Almost every or is split. Almost. Here's our exception, our last question. We solve. So we subtract our 7. So negative 2x is less than or equal to 6. Come on. I know I'm writing it. There we go. And then divide by negative 2. Ding, 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 ding. I'm dividing by a negative. So switch the direction of the inequality symbol. X is greater than or equal to negative 3. And now the other one I'm going to subtract my 12. 5x is greater than 25. Divide by 5. And x is greater than 5. So again, solving 2 steps, maybe 3 at the most on one of the ones we did. Usually just 2. So my helper graphs, which are optional, I'm not going to make you do them. I will be grading the graph that's on the number line. All right, so greater than or equal to negative 3 and greater than 5. If I go to the store and I buy all the numbers that are negative 3 and bigger, and I put them in a box, and then I go in the next aisle and I buy all the numbers bigger than 5 and I put them in the box, what's in the box? Yes, sir. All the numbers greater than negative 3 and equal to, because it's a closed circle there. All the numbers greater than negative 3. If I take all of these numbers and join them together with all of these numbers, even though some repeat, that's okay, but I'm going to end up with these numbers on. Algebraically, which one does this say? It says that. That's my algebra answer. Now, I want you to look at the 2 exceptions for a second, and then I'll be finished here. On the or one, when they are going in the same direction, and it wouldn't matter if it was to the left or to the right, okay? But when they're going in the same direction, and my word is or, the final answer is the longer line. But when I'm going in the same direction, and my word is and, it's the shorter line. Okay, so some people like to think that way. I like to think of it as unions and intersections to mathematically be correct, but that's how it works. Okay? All right. If you've never done this before, you have really got to work on this. Okay? Because you have to know this to do the next section, because it's going to build. Okay? Because everything we're doing here, we're going to do again with more work in front of it. Okay? Not a whole lot of work, but still more work. Okay? All right. Your OTL is in your textbook. 8 questions. So I should see a graph and an algebra answer for all questions.